Point of View is brought to you in association with Stanbic Bank, moving forward, and Glofert Company Limited, growing growth.
Welcome to The Point of View. This show gets you the right issues, asks the guests the relevant questions, and comes up with useful insights. It's live and interactive with our hashtag Point of View, and of course, our WhatsApp number on the screen. Lots of things we'll discuss where we want your views and your comments as well. Tonight, we have a big debate on the job creation agenda. I call it the politics of job creation because it's been a very thorny issue. The World Bank has identified unemployment as a major issue in this country, as have many economists. And one existential threat to our democracy even is the growing unemployment, not just in Ghana, but in the sub-region. Today we'll look at the various dimensions of trying to create jobs for our teeming young people, and we'll examine government's initiatives in dealing with the matter. The Minister for Business Development, Ibrahim Awal, held a press conference. He says his ministry has created 4,700 jobs since inception. He's promising 120,000 more in the next 5 years. Well, before that, a year ago, the Minister for Works, the Minister for Labour, said this government had created over 1 million jobs. Tonight, we'll go behind those numbers and unravel the conversation. Stay with us. So there are many agencies under this government responsible not just for job creation, but also promoting entrepreneurship. One of such agencies is the NEIP. The man who runs it is my guest. He's going to tell us about the initiatives they've put together and how many jobs they've created so far. I have also in the studio Mr. Baini Desmond, who's with a group that's focused on giving graduate employable skills to make them readily trainable for the job market and also to create their jobs. Desmond, great to have you on the show.
Same here, and great to see you again.
Great. And of course, John Kuma is the CEO of NEIP. John, great to see you.
Great to see you, my brother.
Great. We'll be joined by Mr. Richard Koshigan later on. He will join us as the program proceeds. So, John, great. Your ministry, your NEIP is under Ministry for Business Development.
Sure.
So your minister held a press conference 2 days ago, said a few things. He says he spent over 100 million cedis since the ministry was set up in capacity building. And then he broke that down. He said some were loans, some were into training. Then he said he's created 4,700 jobs since inception, and he's threatening to create 120,000. He's threatening to create 120,000 more. It's a good threat. 120,000 more in the next few years. So just quickly, where are these jobs, these 4,700? Can you break them down for us?
Sure. Okay, thank you very much. And I want to say a very good evening to viewers and to let them know we've been brothers for a very long time. We were both in the University of Ghana Legon Hall debating team, yes, and winning trophies for Legon Hall. So it's good. So when we fight here, they should know we are brothers. We are not. Okay, so good. The Ministry of Business Development yesterday met the press, and my minister, Honorable Awal Mohammed Ibrahim, took the opportunity to let Ghanaians know some of the initiatives that the ministry have been undertaking since its inception. And of course, my office, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, has been a key part in the implementation process. So I'm privy to all the information that he put out there. And so far, he's been very innovative and very diligent in pushing the ministry, being a very new ministry, in helping to address one of the core thorny issue of young people in this country, employment, job creation. And of course, we want to do that through entrepreneurship. And remember that when His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo set up the NEIP, I mean, we were set up with a seed fund of $10 million, which we were supposed to leverage to raise additional $100 million. And so when the minister says that over the past 2 years, we've been able to spend about 100 million cedis, it is part of the $100 million which the ministry is supposed to raise through the NEIP program. On the specific figure of 4,750, he was speaking to one initiative.
Just one?
Yes, one. I mean, he was
see.
just talking about the presidential business support, which trained 7,000 applicants last year. This is 2017-2018. We trained 7,000 applicants under the presidential business support program. And we funded 1,340 businesses out of the 7,000 trained. I mean, it's a policy of the NEIP program under the Ministry of Business Development that all applicants are taken through training programs. Of course, for the capacity building initiative, we don't just want to give you money because you want money to expand your business. We want to understand that you know what you are talking about when you say you're a businessman, your bookkeeping, your formalization of your businesses. Sometimes there's a need to mentor you and take you through certain programs that to help you have access to market and access to funding, among other things. So he was specifically speaking to the Presidential Business Support Program, which trained 7,000 applicants last year and supported 1,350.
So these are university graduates?
Well, some are graduates, but the Presidential Business Support Program, we will talk to the graduate one, which was the Students Entrepreneurship Initiative. That one has the higher school level and the university campus level. So we have different initiatives. And all of them are creating jobs. So we'll speak to all of them. But the specific one of 4,750 direct jobs was the Presidential Business Support Program, which supported financially 1,350 of these businesses. And these figures very conservative, because if you look at the impact that the beneficiaries have reported over the 1 year, I can tell you that this figure has really gone up within the 1 year. But for the first year of implementation, he was talking about 4,750 jobs out of the 1,350 who were funded. Now there were 7,000 who were trained.
So 1,350 people, 4,750 jobs. So presumably each person who was funded created 2 more jobs.
Yes, but they created more than that. In fact, this was the target. But in the end, they created, and I have the video of documentary. Maybe another time, if you have time for NEIP, we can talk a lot for people. We will start shooting the individual documentaries where we're expecting people to employ 2 and 3, and some are employing 20. In fact, on the same program yesterday, the Kamoko lady who is doing coffee says she moved her job from 6 employees to 57 and 200 indirect jobs through the farmers. So there are so many of them. Cleaners who even got 10,000 cedis are employing 15 people. Wow. Instead of the target of 2 and 3. So the 4,750 was just a conservative estimate of just one of the numerous initiatives. And we are talking about support to female entrepreneurs with disability. About the target is to support about 2,000 of them. Okay,
so this 1,350 people who together have now employed 4,007, what sectors?
Different sectors: agribusiness, ICT, trade, industry, fashion, food and beverages. So if you go through the NEIP program, we have various, our objective is to create jobs. And you can create jobs in media, you can create jobs in technology. So you have to engage us. This year, for instance, and the minister announced it, we received 12,000 applications in the second window. And it covers various sectors from ICT, usually agriculture and agribusiness tops, followed by information technology and communication.
And where are they based? Where are
across the country.
So every region? Do you have a regional breakdown?
Yeah, we have regional breakdown. We work with the hubs, private hubs. Even though it's a government project, we don't do the training ourselves and we don't do the selection ourselves. So we have partner institutions. Some are university campuses, others are hubs, incubation centers and accelerator programs. And these are owned by people in the private sector. So all that we do, for instance, this year we are training 12,000. We have posted all these 12,000 applicants across the country to the various hubs. I mean, Accra, I can talk of iSpace, iSpace, Hub, university campuses, so many of them. If you go to Kumasi, we have Hyperspace in Edum, Kumasi Incubator. If you go to Northern region, you can talk about Africa Internship. No, is it Africa Internship Academy? Or I've forgotten the names
It's the
of
African Internship
Academy, and then the one led by McCarthy, and then UDS campuses. So we cut across the country, every region. If you go to Takoradi, we have iCode among the rest.
So are these people you can line up at a place that we will see?
Oh yes.
These 4,000 people?
Yes. In fact, there will be more than that. And we have a
Really?
video documentary of all of them. And we don't just give you money and sit back. As part of the program, once you benefit from the program under the NEIP and the Ministry of Business Development, you are automatically under a 3-year mentoring program. So, all our beneficiaries.
So what do you train them in?
We train them on basic bookkeeping. We train them on what it takes to be an entrepreneur. What do we mean when we say you're an entrepreneur? You have to formalize your business. Some people are just doing their business with no business planning. We help you to draw your own business plan in a simple term that you understand. We help you to understand how to source funding, access to market, access to business advisory services. And some of them even require support to meet regulatory requirements. I mean, those who are into food and cosmetics and drugs, they have to get FDA and Standard Authority, among others, in terms of the regulatory requirement. We take you through all that.
I see.
So all these basic training, and then after that, all our beneficiaries are given a free accounting software called OZE. And based on the accounting software, we are able to follow them weekly to know how much sales they are making, how much losses they are making, and how much revenues came in.
I see.
And among so many other things. So we are able to engage with them over a period, and we are able to assist them when necessary and where possible if they require further government engagement and mentoring services.
All right, I'm going to bring Desmond in briefly now. So Desmond, you are with a group that used to be, in the past, you were the unemployed graduates. But now you've changed.
Okay, so I've met him before. I almost couldn't make him out.
So now your group is no longer unemployed graduates. You are the Association of Graduates on Skills and Development.
Good.
So how did you change? Because the first time I interviewed you, you were president of UGAG.
Yeah.
Now you are the president of AGAD or something.
It's better now.
AGSGD. So what changed?
Okay, so you would realize that back then when you were talking about our names and all those things, I told you that we are young entrepreneurs and we are smart. And our name itself, it's a smart move of starting a business. So it tells you that if we are leading people to start a business, we will lead them well.
So it was to get attention.
Exactly. That's one way you when forming a business. So when we started, we had a 5-year development plan. The 5-year development plan was that if after 5 years, we have been able to make sure that the issue of graduate unemployment has become a national issue, then we will rebrand and focus on our main objective, which was 1, to train graduates to meet the demands of world of work or set up their own businesses, and also as a pressure group which will put pressure on government to do the right things, and also as an association which will engage university authorities on the courses that they have to introduce to the system to benefit us. So we're saying that, and good for us, less than 5 years we're able to achieve that. And there was a need for us to rebrand. And we have an association in South Africa, which is also known as the South African Graduates in Skills Development. They are key partners. And so their name, the skills development, motivated us in choosing our name, Association of Graduates in Skills Development Ghana. So that was how come our name changed.
So how many members do you have?
For now, we are counting about 25,000 people.
Hey, registered members?
Yes.
Or just...
we don't pay dues.
So 25,000 members, Association of Graduates on Skills Development.
In skills development.
And what do you train them in?
Okay, so basically, most of the things we do is what a lawyer just touched on. Most of the challenge of graduates, young graduates now, it's not about the courses that they studied. It's about soft skills development, knowing how to think critical, knowing how to learn basic interpersonal skills, which makes business go on well. These are things that the universities don't teach you. Over time, we have spoken with the universities that it's about time that we develop our career and research centers to train these university students to understand the career trend that they are going, the benefits in the area, course areas that they are learning, and the need to attach critical attention to soft skills development, but they are not doing so. It's something that the association is doing, and you realize that your degree will take you, but your soft skill will maintain you in the job market.
You recently issued a statement when the Minister for Employment reportedly said that unemployment rate had come down. Your association did not agree with him.
Yes, we did not agree with him because we think that the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Honorable Ignatius Bafuwa, it's been unfair to the president who appointed him, and it's sad. Because just last year, the same documents that he referred to, the Labour Reports document, that he said unemployment rate stood at 11.5%. As at the time that he was launching the document, unemployment rate was 11.9%. So what changed?
So he said the rate had come down, but
no, he said he was quoting the same document.
That from 11.9 to 11.
So he launched a document.
Yes.
As at the time he was launching the document, and the Labour Reports document by Ghana Statistical Service said that our unemployment rate was 11.9% over over 1.5 million, some 1.5 million Ghanaians are unemployed. Then he came back, making a point for himself to make him look good that unemployment rate is dropping. He said that the 2015-2016 Labour Report projected that unemployment was 11.5%, which is false. It was 11.9%. And again, he said that unemployment rate was dropping between 3.6 to 7.1. And he goes on to say that we have 7 public universities which handles over 20,000 graduates, which causes corporate Ghana donation. It's false. We have over 16 plus private public sector universities, and they graduate an average of 37,000 to 42,000.
So he's understating the numbers.
Exactly. It tells you that the minister is not on top of his game. And it's either the one writing his speeches for him is doing him great disservice, or he doesn't know what he's saying and does not deserve to be there because he's giving us false numbers. Then in 2017, May 1st, the minister, and we're all there during the launch of NAPCO at Great Hall, when he said that the MPP administration in 2 years in office has created over 1 million jobs.
Yeah, I even have it here.
Yes, he was asked to give a breakdown of those jobs. And what he said, though, a chunk of those jobs was within the agri sector, the beautiful initiative, planting for food jobs, food and jobs.
For 2 million.
We'll come there.
Okay.
We'll come there.
Planting for food and jobs. Then we heard it as an association, we were surprised. So we went further to ask. Now, how were we able to create that
number of jobs?
Yes, within planting, because as at that time, planting for food and jobs alone was creating almost 500,000 jobs. Less than 1 year of being in existence. So we went further to ask, and from our inquiries, it was that because fertilizer, planting for food and jobs caused production increase, fertilizer supply also increased. So the measurements was done based on the number of fertilizers that was supplied to farmers and the number of people that they project to work on the farms. But the point is that there are types of unemployment. One is seasonal unemployment. We realized what happened when the NDC said that they have created several jobs within the construction sector when they were building the circle, building the E-blocks, the circle interchange. Today, where are those jobs? They are seasonal jobs. They come and go. That is why we need correct data, which will calculate those number of jobs. And exactly the same thing that happens in the planting for food and jobs. You realize that indeed those jobs were created, but they didn't last.
So these are temporary jobs.
Exactly. And if you watch the ILO definition for unemployment, which we fall under ILO, it says that anyone within the age bracket 15 and above. One, it has 3 simultaneous definitions. One, looking for a job within the last 2 weeks and not finding, it's classified unemployed. today, as I sit with you, if I'm employed by City TV, and Bernard, you tell me that my appointment starts in October, although I have been issued an appointment letter, because my appointment has not started, I'm unemployed. As I sit here with you, if within the last 1 hour, I was an employee of City TV, and I was fired within the last 1 hour, and the moment I was fired, I had an intention of looking for a job, a new job, I'm classified unemployed. Therefore, we need to resource the labor department.
To have better, reliable statistics.
Exactly. If you go to the labor department, it's sad. You see, I'm forced not to believe the data the Ministry of Business Development is giving because they are projections. And I can also doubt it. But the point is that there is a solution to this.
Labor department.
The solution to this is that we need to resource our labor department to do a good job.
Brilliant stuff. Desmond, I'll take a short break. I will be joined by Mr. Richard Koshiga as well, who's joined us on the point of view. I have a whole list of numbers here. I was trying to get a breakdown of the 1 million jobs. Then Mr. John Kuma says he now has 2 million. Yes, so now my 1 million is even...
Yes.
I don't know. So we'll come back and look at the numbers. We're talking the politics of job creation on the point of view. Stay with us.
Hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Loco.
For the highlights of the top stories from the newspapers and the in-depth discussions of the news, What the Papers Are Saying, your weekly newsstand show, which sums up the big stories from reliable newspapers and news websites.
The buck stops with the IGP, not the CID boss. But operationally, there's a regional commander. Nobody is mentioning the regional commander. On day-to-day basis, who is in charge? I'm not so sure if it is the CID boss. But you see, the moment we start pushing, we trivialize the whole thing.
Join Vivian Kai Loco and her panel to review the headlines, break down the stories, and analyze the issues. What the Papers Are Saying is this and every Thursday at 9 p.m. on City TV.
Welcome back to The Point of View. So we are talking the job creation politics. We've been joined in studio by Richard Koshiga, who is the MP for Keta, and is also the deputy ranking member for the Employment, Social Welfare and State Enterprises Committee of Parliament Committee. Let me just take you through a few stories on unemployment. So it's a very popular topic, job creation and unemployment. Business Development Minister justifies using 100 million on capacity building. This was just yesterday. Joe also calls for collaboration between universities and industry. This is for job creation. And then Nanado presents seed capital to 10 startup entrepreneurs. It's also there. Skills-based training key to youth unemployment. Ghana Think leads discussion on solving unemployment. Unemployment is a very sexy topic. Digital address. NAPCO recruits begin mass property tagging today. Think beyond acquiring degrees, professor, adhere to graduates. So everybody's telling graduates what to do. Nobody's offering them a job. Next line of stories, youth unemployment threatens Africa's security. This is the President Akufo-Addo to African leaders. This is October last year. NAPCO, not sustainable way of tackling unemployment. This is Nimoy Thompson. Legalizing Okada will reduce unemployment. Buntaka. Government spent 100 million on capacity building. Minister. Experts call for new approach to tackling unemployment. So many stories. And then there's even more. National Board of Small Scale Industries calls for apprentices and other stories. So, Richard, you are in Parliament. I remember when you were in government, one of your ministers said to us that they had created 600,000 jobs. We took him on quite seriously because he was adding construction jobs and things. This week, Minister for Business Development says they have 4,750 jobs created, and they are going to create 120,000 more in the next 5 years. We have last year, the Minister for Employment, May in 2018, he says MPP government had created 1,096 jobs. Sorry, 1,096,404 jobs. Mr. John Kuma here tells us that actually there are 2 million jobs.
The document. I've forwarded.
You guys couldn't defend your 600,000. Somebody's creating 2 million. I mean.
Well, thank you very much. I think that when we want to journey back into history, the facts must speak for that era. They talked about 600,000 jobs.
Yes.
And I think that they give categorization, permanent jobs, informal jobs, formal jobs, those jobs that are disguised employment, and etc. And of course, seasonal jobs and all. But in this time that we find ourselves in, figures have just been dangled without necessarily giving, very concrete breakdowns. Of course, the Minister of Employment some time back, after we compelled him, gave us some kind of breakdown, which in itself brought about a lot of debate, especially Planting for Food and Jobs, where they claim to have created 745,000 jobs. That figure was even challenged by even experts within GAWU, because they claim that, well, those things cannot be substantiated. And when the president came to Parliament, we expected that he was going to make reference to 745,000 jobs, but he shied away from it and then mentioned 200,000 jobs under Planting for Food and Jobs. Again, that obviously will appear that government was speaking at cross purposes. We've had the Minister for Trade and Industry, who at some time, one of his deputies indicated that they had created 300,000 jobs. He came back to backtrack to give us a different figure. His minister gave a different figure. And then the minister for Information at one point in time told us that actually 1D, 1F had only 18 have been accredited. And we asked what accreditation meant, what he meant by accreditation and all that. I mean, so clearly there's a cacophony of information and data on job creation as far as this government is concerned. Not too long ago, the Vice President talked about 350,000 jobs that have been created. Now we are hearing from the Minister for Business Development that, he had created under his sector
4,751 program of his sector.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, because actually last year they had said that they had created 21,000.
Yes. Okay.
If you look at their Business Development Ministry,
one program.
Last year they said they had done 19,500 under business support and then 2,000 under 75 domes. So they are adding 4,700 to 21,500. So that's how much? 25,000.
It could be more.
Where are the people? That's the question.
That's the question.
We want to find them. But you just wrap up your point.
Yeah, if you have time to play the documentary, I can forward to you.
Well,
so that you see the people speak for themselves.
Bernard, let me first
of all,
I think that I should have done this earlier. Yes. Let me apologize for coming in late. I drove all the way from Keta. I was with Professor Tefua. We're going around, for the wrap-up of the program in there. So the National Identification
Brilliant.
Program. So we clearly, we don't seem to have any accurate data on employment creation in this country. Now we've been told that the formal sector, and some thousands of jobs have been created. But I say those are not job creation; they are job replacement, because within the period we have had people who have retired and they ought to be replaced. And I also believe that one sector that can give us very, very vivid, picture of things will be SNIT. How many contributors have been added on to those who are currently on the scheme? Now, if it is necessarily by law, when you are working, you got to be on what? SNIT. So if SNIT is telling us that we have about 1.9 million, and in 2016, what was the figure? You know, so if there's any increase at all, it's so marginal. And so if it is marginal as far as the formal sector is concerned, then are we saying that most of the jobs created are in the informal sector? And if they are in the informal sector, which areas of the informal sector? Now, 4,700 have been created, 750 have been created. Now, which areas? Because the minister said they have given 10,000 to people that they've given capacity to. And if they're giving 10,000 to, is it 2,000 or 1,000, a certain number?
We trained 7,000. We funded 1,350.
Okay, 1,350. So 1,350. In which areas can we find these young men establishing, and what kind of jobs have they created? Is it carpentry? And if somebody has given 10,000, how many people has he been able to engage or enroll? You know, it's great if indeed these jobs exist, which all should be excited. After all, we have a situation on hand. You know, but I'm saying that, look, this issue of job creation goes beyond partisanship.
Yeah.
You know, it's a national issue. You ought to look at it from that national perspective. I'm of the view that there is a need for us to bring together captains of industries, bring together former ministers of employment, bring together from academia experts, and then even bring some foreign experts, add those to them. Let's look at let's do a SWOT analysis. Why have we failed in certain areas in creating jobs? What were the challenges? What did we do that were wrong? Now, under Haruna Idrisu, the current minority leader, a document was financed by development partners, and it's very much on 1D, 1F. In fact, I asked a question in Parliament. Honorable Alan Chemati came around. He even demanded a copy from me. I gave him a copy in Parliament. You know,
which year is this?
2014. The document was published 2014. I can give you a copy. I've given some media houses copies. You know, it gives you a vivid analysis and approach as to how we can create jobs. I believe that document is a national document financed by the state and development partners. We need to pick it up, look at it, review it if need be, and run with it. We don't have to always be, you know, looking at things from a parochial political lens. Job creation is not the business of government. It is largely a private sector-driven agenda. And therefore, there is the need for us to think outside the box, bring out all those who have the capacity and the expertise. And let's really develop a national blueprint, you know, to move us away from the kind of situations we have. Now, if you look at some of the things that Nanado said at the beginning, very refreshing, even in opposition and in government. In 2017, let's just go and take some of the State of the Nation addresses that he gave. Very inspiring. But what has happened?
Okay, so you've made two important points. SNIT, we should use SNIT to triangulate figures, and it should also show us where the jobs are. John, you're saying now that the jobs you've created as a government are now over 2 million.
Well,
and you have a breakdown.
Exactly. It's not me.
Can you just walk me through quickly?
Okay, all right.
Which sectors and this?
I've sent you a document from the Ministry of
2 million.
Employment. Yes, employment, and I've sent it to all of you. If I have your number, I'll forward it to you.
Wow.
This is as at August 2018. I'm here to speak to the data.
August 2018.
I did not manufacture this. I did not manufacture this, so you can always
just walk us through quickly. August 2018.
Yes, and I've also forwarded to you a documentary of the NEIP beneficiaries.
It doesn't arrive yet. Maybe your data is slow.
Well, slow, but you will get it. I have it here.
Tax.
So. Let's do the summary as I have here, and so it captures the various departments and ministries. You understand? So if you take Ministry of Sanitation and Water and Resources, and then they will go to School of Hygiene, Accra, and they list category of employment that they have created there. Basically, they are talking about formal employment or public employment, according to
And the Ministry of Sanitation.
Yes, so you go there, you find administrative manager, finance officer, and they describe whether it's permanent or temporary. So they list it all, and the number of people.
So how many jobs are in that ministry?
According to this data,
these are new jobs since 2017.
Yes, as at 18.
As at 2018 August.
Yes.
A year ago today.
A year ago, yes. So, and then you come to...
So, yeah, you are trying to get the figure for...
Yeah, I have it. Then you come to Ministry of Education, they list it, and National Teaching Council, Student Loan Trust Fund, Ghana Education Service, Ghana Education Trust Fund, Ghana Library Authority, and then they list category of positions they've employed, whether it's permanent or temporary, and the number of persons employed. So, and then the next page talks about another ministry and department. This one is a Ministry of Defense and Ghana Armed Forces. So here too, they talk about category of employment, the nature of the employment, permanent or temporary, and they list the numbers.
Okay.
So all these things in the document, I mean, if you come here is what? Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of...
So all the ministries have employed new people?
Yes, and the departments. So when you put all of that together, according to this Ministry of Employment data, as the data gave you, that is what brings you to the 2 million. That
as of August 2018.
August 2018.
It's very questionable.
2 million.
Yes, this is the data I have here.
And but you have a breakdown between formal and informal, permanent and temporary.
Yes, they are all here. It's indicated whether it's permanent or temporary.
Because if we had the permanent,
you want to look?
If we had the permanent, it would have helped us to know what figures Senate has.
Exactly.
Because if it's
we can always compare with, we can always check with. That's why I was telling him that I agree with him when he says there are issues with data collection in the country.
From tomorrow.
So it is one thing not having the data, and another thing having the data and questioning it. I agree with him if he says that there may be issues with the data collection, but this is what the ministry has given us. And this is what we must work with. You can
you give me more? So, for example, on the Ministry of Education, what type of jobs are there? Because everybody knows education well. So just give us
so let's go to Ministry of Education and
try
and get. Okay, so then Ministry of Communication.
So every ministry has employed more people.
Yes.
Working where in the regions or in the national capital.
You see, the case with the Ghana Library Board, it makes me question this data.
Because the library has not been opened.
Since this administration took over, there have been only 2 library additions.
2 new libraries have been added.
And revived the 61 existing ones. So you could still employ more.
The point is,
you understand?
You see, I've been following the Ghana Library.
Yeah, I also follow them.
Yes, and it's making me...
So there are only 2 additional libraries?
Yes, so the point is...
revived the existing...
How many new librarians did you add to your list?
A lot.
That's the point. So
okay, so let me
check.
The
point is that...
Let me check.
No, I just wanted to get...
I want to find out how
Ministry
many people has the library board employed. Then we can...
Okay, Library Authority.
Yes.
How many?
How many?
So we have librarian, 2.
2 librarians.
Assistant librarian, 2.
2.
Library officer, 3.
So that's
and
7.
Then we have principal office assistant, 2. Principal 9. Security guard, 1.
10.
Senior headman, 1.
11.
Then they have technologist, 16.
Hey!
They have technical. Yes, it's possible.
Let him finish. I want to
just
want to use that as a case study. So 16 technical. No, you don't. Just relax. I'm just trying to get the numbers for the viewers.
Okay.
So they have male, female, and total.
So the 16 are technologists.
16 are the technologists.
If you add
it's permanent, these are permanent.
So if you add the 16 to the 11, you have 27 already.
Okay.
What else is there in the library?
No, a lot. I'm coming. Let me take you through. So the Ghana Library Authority ends here, and the senior headman permanent. So you have a total of about 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, about 30.
30 for library.
Yes, and the library.
Is that believable for you?
It's questionable.
It's still questionable for 30 because you said there are only 2 additional libraries.
These are
before that. Can you go to Ministry of Education?
Just to have the situation.
Which other departments are there?
We have Ghana Education Trust Fund.
Get fund.
We
How
have
many?
the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. We have National Teaching Council.
So for these people, how many jobs are added?
They are all there. 1, 1, 2, 3. You add them, and that's all.
So
adding
which
up to the 2
ministry
million.
has the chunk that pushed the data to 2 million?
You see,
that's
job
the document
replacement.
I've
A lot of it is
referred
job
to you.
replacement.
Yes.
A lot
Just
of
go
it
and
is.
check.
That is what I want to say. They might have engaged new people,
Which is
but,
true.
But it's not job creation.
What is
It's
it?
job replacement.
Why?
People go on retirement, and those positions ought to be filled. You know, so again, when you go to SNIT should be able to tell you the number of people who have gone on retirement from these agencies, etc., and are now on pension, and those vacancies ought to be filled. So, how do you call it? This agency that employs public sector workers will have to open up adverts, and they've done that. So if they're giving jobs to some new persons, it's not job creation. You have only replaced, you know.
Does your number 2 million include planting for food and jobs?
Ministry of Agric, I should
think
think
Because
so.
planting for food and
of
jobs, as of last time the announcement was made in June 2018, the minister said that the number of jobs there were 750,000.
I have Ministry of Agric.
745,000.
Cocoa
That's
board.
at the ministry head cube, PFJ, 745,000. Pollinators, 20,000. Irrigation technicians, hydrologists, drill assistants, 76. Codec spray gangs,
And these are all temporary jobs.
56,991. When you put all of that together, Food and Agriculture Ministry had 822,067. This was as of March 2018.
Okay.
Now you say you have August
So,
2018.
yeah, as of August, it was, I think, they added pollination on the cocoa board, and it came to 1.539.
So it
that
moved
is
from
what is
it moved from 822,000 to 1.53.
million, yeah. From
That's
the
almost
Ministry of Agric.
700,000 people.
Yes, because they are talking about, but don't rush to doubt it. They are talking about pollination. And you see, under the cocoa board program, they employed a lot of people to do pollination, which increased cocoa
But your
production.
pollinators as at March was 20,000.
Yes, it's still 20,000 I have here.
Yeah, so how can, so my question is, you have pollinators, irrigation,
And they
people,
have youth in afforestation, which is 40,000. Do you have it there?
Youth in afforestation, it's a questionable one.
Forget
Very,
about
very
the questions.
questionable
Let's
because-
deal with the data first.
No,
I've
no,
told
but-
you,
but
I agree
the
with
data
your
must be
question.
questioned. We
no,
can't-
we are
we
not here
can't-
to question the data. We are here to work with the data provided. You can go and do another work.
no, John, just hold on.
You understand?
You
Go
are
and
saying
do another
that-
work and challenge what
Yeah,
has been
I
provided.
just want to get
But
something.
if you ask them, if you
See,
ask
just
them
allow
for
me.
data, they don't
This
say
is
You
our
have- you have-
official sources.
Hold
Let's
on.
deal with the
You have
figures.
800,000 as of March 2018.
Okay.
You said the thing has moved to 1.5 million. And I'm asking you to account for the 700,000 difference.
I am not accounting, please.
No, on the basis
I
of
am
what you have.
working with what I have here. I'm
So,
talking to you
so what's
as
the,
official
what's the
figures.
breakdown of the 1.5 million?
Okay, so that's what I'm telling you, that from the Ministry of Agric, as per the document from Ministry of Labor, please,
Yes.
I did not make the document.
Don't worry.
I'm speaking to the data.
Okay.
So let's work with it. If you have issues, you raise it later. So under the Ministry of Agric, you are having youth in afforestation, additional staff, pollinators, irrigation, technical and hydrologists. You have CODAPEC, which are the spray gangs. And then all of that adding up to the figure of 1.539,000 under Ministry of Agric. And then the planting for food and jobs.
You know what confuses me here? Afforestation is under Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources.
Okay.
So that shouldn't come under Agric. That number two, all the things you are mentioning are already here.
Oh, that's it's true. That's Ministry of Lands and Natural
Yes,
Resources and
afforestation
Forestry
cannot be
Commission.
minister.
Okay.
It can be a minister.
So it's here is the so under it is the Ministry of Agric, Cocoa Board, then planting for food and jobs. So you only have the pollinators, irrigation, technical, and CODAPEC adding up to the 1.5.
But you see, between
You can
March
confirm.
between March 2018
Yes.
and August 2018, it will be quite interesting to rise from 822,000 to
So
1.5
Bernard,
million.
let's not use this platform to question official
No,
figures.
no, we can't.
I'm saying
We can't question
if you-
everything.
No, if you doubt
But
it,
I'm
On the basis
I will
of,
not be the
I'm
best.
just
It
saying
means
that.
you have to call a Ministry of Agric official here,
Good.
and then question them because I won't be the best person.
No
I
problem.
can deal with you on Ministry of Business Development.
Good. Let's go,
Let's go to our data
Your
and
ministry,
work with
your
it.
ministry,
Because that's
and
where I can
please indulge
speak
me.
to.
Your
Yes,
ministry
yes.
said as of
I thought you
March,
right now.
as of March 2018,
Yes.
you had created 21,500 jobs.
Yes.
Now your minister comes to the press and says he's created 4,750 jobs.
Of one initiative.
Good.
Please,
So
be
why
specific.
didn't he add it to the 21,000?
Well, if you are asking, his approach is different, but speak to what he
Or
said.
is it that those 21,000 jobs were temporary? So
No,
they are
they are not,
finished?
no, we are not talking about temporary things under entrepreneurship. Please, let me tell you something. Under the presidential pitch alone, just the one we had last week, before the president, the 20 beneficiaries last year came to testify how they have created jobs with the support they got. And you added to over 400 jobs created by just 20 people. So we have evidence. I've just forwarded a video of documentary on the presidential business support. You may look at it. It's just 8 minutes if you have time to play for our viewers, for guys to see the people we are talking about. Let me tell you, we have a program we call this SCI. It's under the Students Entrepreneurship Initiative. And my minister announced that this year alone, we are targeting 22,500 students, 7,000 at the secondary school level and 15,000 at the university level. Last year, between my office and the National Service Secretariat, we experimented. Students who have set up their own businesses whilst in their final year will be posted to their own businesses for 1 year during the national service period. We did only 20, and the results was phenomenal. Now we are moving them to the main NEIP support program to even fund them more to scale up. So that is how much impact we are making even in the various initiatives of government under the entrepreneurship program. When you come to add that to the female entrepreneurs with disability, those who are doing sewing and bead making, all of whom have been supported financially. If you want to add their 3 and 5 jobs that they have also created, and they are in thousands. So we are speaking to specific group of people.
Okay.
We are sure about what we have done because we don't just give money. We train them, we put them on mentoring processes, and we can lead you to all of them across the country.
I'll take another short break. When I come back, I'll let the two gentlemen ask you a few questions. And I have quite a number of messages for you. This is the point of view. We're trying to unravel the human beings behind the numbers.
They are there.
The jobs created under the MPP. This is the city point of view. Stay with us.
Environmentally friendly, affordable, and quality fertilizers committed to improving crop production and ensuring food security through improved yields in Ghana. This is Glofert Limited, a wholly owned Ghanaian company with a global outlook. Ghana's leading name in fertilizer production, Glofert has built a state-of-the-art 120 metric tons per hour fertilizer blending factory, the largest in Ghana. This is able to blend all types of NPK to the specific requirements of farmers. With a 45,000 metric ton warehouse, trust Glofert Limited for all types of NPKs, urea, sulfate of ammonia, potassium nitrate, calcium nitrate, boron, and many more. Glofert is currently participating in the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative under the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Call us on 0544 339 513 or 0243 512 171. Locate our head office at number 2 Ni Amon Lane, East Legon, Accra. Email sales@glofert.com. Glofert, growing growth.
The biggest corporate sports competition, the City Business Olympics, returns for another grand event. Does your team have what it takes to win on the field of play? Does your team have the grit to dethrone the current overall champions GCB Bank? Then bring it on and show us what you got on the City Business Olympics 2019. Participate in games like 7-a-side football, swimming, volleyball, basketball, tug of war, tennis, and new challenges like plank walk, tag team sack race, the CEO's challenge, and many more. It's a day of teamwork, skill, strength, endurance, with all the fun and networking as corporate Ghana gathers to show us what they're made of outside the boardrooms and meetings. The City Business Olympics happening on Saturday, 21st September 2019 at the Birmingham Sports Complex. Time 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 0205-973-973 for more details and registration. The City Business Olympics is powered by 97.3 City FM and supported by City TV and citybusinessnews.com. City Business Olympics, bridging the gap in our corporate world through sports.
Welcome back to The Point of View. Tonight we're trying to understand the job creation conundrum. Now, we know that unemployment is massive in Ghana. Indeed, the estimate the World Bank gave for youth unemployment was around 48%. This is a few years ago. The Minister for Employment will address a press conference on Thursday to deal with some of these issues. I have in studio John Kuma, who is the Chief Executive of the NEIP, which is the major agency under the Ministry for Business Development. I also have MP for Keta, Richard Koshiga. Is also the ranking member of the Committee on Employment. And I have Desmond Baini, who's from the association that trains entrepreneurial graduates. Here are some comments. My name is Isaac Ofori. I live at Pantam. Kindly ask Mr. Kuma where the location of these jobs are. Again, let him explain the difference between job and training. Well, we have to admit that the NEIP is a good initiative, and the job creation numbers is very wild and realistically job-breaking. Ishmael from Bachona. What role does the Ministry of Business Development play within the Labour Ministry? Because the ministers are geared or tailored towards job realization, not solely job creation. Decadi Spintex. Bernard, do you know that we are not serious in this country? The free education policy that President Akufo-Addo has created is not covering TVET. How can this lead to job creation? Job creation doesn't only depend on government, in which the individuals can also do. Maxwell from Adenta, that's an interesting point. Yeah. Good evening, Bernard. I'm always disappointed hearing government making noise that they are creating jobs, whilst after the end of their term, the employees become young pensioners at the age of 20 to 30 for 30 years. Are you comfortable with the kind of jobs they are creating? They give permanent jobs to their families, deceiving the rest of citizens. Oh, Sami B inside Keta. Your constituent is not happy, Richard. Bernard, good evening to you and your panelists. One, I put it to the gentleman who says his association has 25,000 members, that if indeed what he says is very factual, after the show, you should submit to you their database. Okay, you two have
the point is, one, we have said this. The reason why we don't give our data out is that it's our money-making machine. I will tell you this.
So you have 25,000 members.
Let me tell you what we do with our data.
No, we don't have time for that. The point is that you have 25,000 members.
Yes, I can.
But okay, if we should accept the 25,000, we should also accept it's 2 million.
No, the point is that I can open to you and show to you our database for you to see the numbers, their names, their contacts, and everything.
And they are in all regions.
And that's the point. But the reason why we don't give out is that universities bring their students to us so that we assess them in the area of employment, in the area of research employment. And what we do is that anyone that you refer to us, if you are giving us 20 questionnaires, we charge you 5 cedis per head. So I can't give my data to lawyer John Kuma because that is my money-making machine. We are entrepreneurs.
More comments.
Thank you for doing business with data.
I think government is trying to do something about the level of unemployment, but efforts are too piecemeal in nature and not well coordinated. What are the plans for rural uneducated young people who can't access and be part of initiatives by government? You need to answer that question. Ben, can you please ask the lawyer the number of people they made jobless through their reckless sacking of government sector employees? Francis from Teshi. Sir Ewuku in Ayensiano. Good evening, Bernard. After listening to Business Development Minister yesterday, I feel relieved. This is what we call good governance. They give free education and also empower the youth to be job creators and not job seekers.
Thank you.
Nana Baumia deserves 4 years more. Bernard, we were promised of no job loss when IMF had to work, when the MFI one work with had to license revoked. This is microfinance. We are home now without jobs. If we are disengaging and engaging at the same time, the net effect is zero. No job was saved under MFIs. This is IEC in Pokwasi. So John, he's referring to the financial sector and the job losses there.
Yes.
And then more comment. I've never watched a foreign news story that when a group of people bring an initiative, they will call on government. Many times they look out for investors. Everything government. Sometimes I feel like government in Ghana is overburdened, but still it's better to call on investors than government because these politicians have nothing better to offer. So,
well, Bernard, briefly, I have, first of all, I'll come to some of the questions they have raised, but I also have concerns with the research of the World Bank. And I was asking Honorable here that in Ghana, if you are 15 years, you may be in JSS or about leaving JSS. And seriously, who in this country will employ a JSS leaver?
15 years.
No, they say youth unemployment. It's an ILO definition.
Yes, but youth unemployment. But it should be applicable to our system. I'm coming. We should be realistic in Ghana. That CTFM, if somebody who is the age of 15 years bring his application here, will he be employed?
But we are 15-year-olds who work on cocoa farms.
But that is even described as child labor.
By who?
By the same ILO.
Let me make a point.
My point is that, relax. My point is that when the body figures on us that between the ages of 15 and 22, 48% are unemployed, we should be very skeptical about the age range.
So what figure should we work with?
Well, I don't have an alternative figure. I'm only questioning.
Government for the past 3 years has never been able to give us reliable unemployment statistics.
Well, maybe you haven't gone to the right source.
We've even asked it at the Meet the Press, where the president was asked, and he says his minister will address that the next year. I asked President Mahama, he didn't have it. I asked President Akufo-Addo, he didn't have it.
Well, he just told us that there are problems with data collection, so we will not go into that. I'm only saying that let's be realistic to who we are in this country. And at the age of 15, I'm asking myself if I was 15 years or 16 years and looking for a job in Ghana.
Yeah, but that should not arise, you see, because this is not the first time. This is not the first time this UN body is coming up with such measurement.
Yeah, because we don't challenge it.
No, hang on.
Because we just let it pass.
In the past, you didn't challenge it.
But
why are you challenging it now?
We have 3 minutes.
So
each person has a minute. You have a minute to finish everything you're saying.
So
1 minute each. So your 1 minute, 6 seconds starts now.
Well, so what I'm saying is that we may have some challenges with unemployment in the country.
Yes.
But a lot is being done at the moment by the various ministries and various initiatives of government to address these challenges. And when I came here, I've talked a lot about what we are doing in the entrepreneurship space, especially under the Ministry of Business Development. And I've talked about the various initiatives that are ongoing to address this youth unemployment. And I will believe that some of this problem is also got to do with our education. And that is why we are forming entrepreneurship clubs even on the various campuses, so that before you get out of school, you know that government is also willing to support.
So for you think entrepreneurship is one of the key solutions?
Yes.
In addition
to create sustainable jobs.
Yes. So entrepreneurship training is part of it?
Yes, it's part of it, to create sustainable jobs in the country.
Mr. Koshiga, you have 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that we'll wait to listen to the Minister of Employment tomorrow. But again, if people are saying that we've created 2 million jobs,
some people, please.
Well, it's government. Government says so. Center for Socioeconomic Studies not too long ago also claimed that 3 million jobs were lost since this government came into office. We need to interrogate all these, to be able to establish exactly what the state of unemployment is like in Ghana. But meanwhile, we'll wait till the minister delivers his address tomorrow.
Desmond, you have the last word.
So on the age 15 thing, age 15 issue, we have a national youth policy which defined a youth in Ghana to be starting from the age bracket 15 to 35. So
if they say youth unemployment, they are correct?
Yes, it's correct.
No, I'm not saying it's not correct. I'm only saying, are they
now,
really
my point is
who allows JSS 3 students to go and work?
That government is doing its best to find solutions to unemployment through the entrepreneurship way. But I still believe that their way of doing it is not the right way to go. The only way to create a business is to take advantage of your problems and create find solutions to them and create a business out of it. But we have government initiatives which are tackling unspecific areas. The point is that we have an issue with filth. If we want to create businesses, let's look at filth as a business. Now, Ministry of Sanitation has introduced dustbins into the system. But I feel that there should have been a business component to it where a ministry like Ministry of Business Development could have invited businesses within the recycling sector to make good use of that waste that is coming. Today, when you pass Accra, the dustbins are there and they are overflowing.
So the government can do better.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Can do better.
Desmond Baini is the president of the Association of Graduates on Skill Development. Richard Koshiga is MP for Keta and a ranking member of the Committee in Parliament on Employment. And of course, John Kuma, he is the Chief Executive of the NEIP. I never got what it stands for. National
Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program.
Great stuff. My name is Bernard Avle. Thank you for watching City TV. Good night.
Point of View is brought to you in association with Stanbic Bank, moving forward, and Glofert Company Limited, growing growth.